Hello everyone, welcome to A Fistful of Dice. My name is Matt, and welcome to another episode of There Bleeds the Beacon, our Gloam mini-campaign, which was originally going to be 4 sessions, but now might be 5, because I very much misjudged how much content we're going to get through here. So I'm going to let these players briefly introduce themselves, and then I'm going to go ahead and do a little recap, and then we will roll right into the session tonight. So we'll go ahead and start top left to right. Barker, tell us who you are and who you're playing.
Hi everyone, I'm Barker and I am playing Michele and I'm really excited for this game.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hello, yes, I'm Jeff. I am playing Lutra and I am also excited for this game.
T.
Hi, I'm Tealah and I'm playing Tippet Baitwell. And I'm, I'm excited for this game.
Hey, take it or leave it, honestly. Lloyd.
Hello, I'm Lloyd. I play Rufus, and I've been dragged here against my will. I don't want to play.
And who's that? Taylor.
I'm Taylor. I'm playing the rogue Rheviadis, who we can never say the name twice the same way, and that's fine. And I absolutely forgot it 5 seconds ago.
And Aaron.
Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm playing Oramel Spalding, and I invented this game.
Whoa.
I'm currently suing a lot of people. If at the end of the program there will be a link to a Venmo, I could use it. Legal fees are very expensive, so please help.
Plus, you're going up against Big Game, which is like they got all the money. So
it's true.
I think Big Game is a wrestler as well, so it's funny to imagine that you're also going to have to fight Big Game, the wrestler.
That's the first person they sent. Yes. As soon as I sent the letters to Hasbro, knocked on the door, opened it. There was the wrestler.
There he was.
Wheelchair.
Somehow there was a turnbuckle in front of my door, and he was already jumping from it. So.
That man is a family.
You open the door and actively falling on top of you. Yes.
Yeah. But I'm okay. So let's I'm just ready to have a good time, and let's have fun.
Sounds good. So last time in this game that Aaron made, the mercenaries traveled to a settlement known as Hunter's Point, which is sort of a wretched hive of scum and villainy that falls outside the gaze of the powers that be here in the world of Gloam. In Hunter's Point, they continued chasing the trail of the helmsman of the Magdalena, a man by the name of Reed, who had been taken from Driftchapel by soldiers of Thurland, a rival to the barony of Strand. And in Hunter's Point, they kind of mingled with the people there. They met an old friend of Lutra's, and then proceeded to go to a small sort of pawn shop of sorts run by this half-orc merchant named Goodwin, whose name I forgot earlier today, and I had to scrub through the episode to try and remember what his name was. But Goodwin was very helpful, and in exchange for some of Lutra's magic papers from her book, he supplied them with both some very helpful, sort of vital information, as well as some glyph shots, some magic bullets. The information that he gave them consisted of the possible sort of direction that the soldiers of Thurland were going, which was east. Which means that they were probably making a stop at Rook's Gate, which is sort of the last point before you reach the open ocean. In addition to that, they learned that the soldiers had also purchased some glyph shot and were potentially worried about the presence of some partisans, these sort of agents of the Ordisterium that were following them. So the group set off once again aboard their ship, and setting anchor at Rook's Gate, they found a Thurlin ship empty, and inside the temple itself, they found the Thurlin soldiers just utterly massacred. Some of them smashed, other ones melted, just a complete massacre. And inside they found 3 partisans, these heavily armed agents of the Ordisterium. They referred to each other by names. There was Vial, who was sort of this tall partisan with certain like vials and beakers and stuff on a bandolier across his chest, and had sort of a raven visage. And then there was Gavel, who was carrying this huge hammer and had an owl mask. And then Shrike was the last one, who was sort of this small, lithe figure who had a sort of like a sparrow mask, and shot this like pneumatic hook chain thing right at the end of the session to try and disarm the players. At the end of the session, Vial sort of made off with Reed, told Gavel and Shrike to deal with the players, and that was where we left them. And that is where we're going to jump into tonight's session. The Ordisterium worries about my work here at Last Light. I do not blame my patrons in Carvan for their meddling, as I have ignored their last half-dozen missives. But this agent they've sent, this partisan, is no Ordist. In fact, they hardly seem like a person at all. We Ordists wear our veils, it's true, but these partisans shroud their faces in breathing apparatus and lenses. Their breaths a hollow, reverberating reminder of their constant, lurking presence. I do not know what manner of person resides within these cloaks, whose dead, lamp-like eyes haunt my every movement like a prison warden. But the message of their presence here at Last Light is abundantly clear. You work because we allow you to. Ezekiel Wallow's personal journal, dated 17th of Turning, the Queen's 360th year reigning. Michele, you are outside of this ruined temple, perched on the cliffs here at Rook's Gate. The sea around you is calm, but the sky is gray. The light is dwindling, and twilight has set in. You feel wet grass under your feet. Grass that is long and waving in the wind, and just absolutely sort of dewy with the mist of the sea under your feet. You smell the salt on the air, and there's something else too, something sharp and acrid, gunpowder. You smell smoke. You smell chemicals. And as you sort of round these ruins here set on the cliffs, you see a figure standing there. A young boy. You've seen this figure before. And he is standing on the cliffs with his back to you. What do you do?
Michele stops just for a brief moment, and then almost with a jolt, an excited lurch, she moves forward and trips over her own feet. She falls and smashes one of the vials in her vial belt, and it pierces through her clothes and into her flesh. And almost immediately, she begins hallucinating a little bit more. The snow is surrounding her now, and the ocean is almost frozen, and then it flashes back to this moment. But the boy is still there in both times. It's almost like everything around her is new as the snow is falling. She gets back up and moves forward through, leaving crunching footprints of snow in the ground on her way over to him. She keeps trying to say her name, but she can't quite get her voice. She gets close to him, and then she's back in this moment. She smells that gunpowder again. The chemicals kind of keep her present and focused on now, whenever that is. She says, "You're here."
The boy doesn't tear his gaze away from the sea roiling out in the distance as he responds, "As much as I'm anywhere." You're here.
I remember this. This is good.
You've been
There's something
here
about this place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. Mm-hmm. You have too.
You've been most places before.
I don't know what that means. I think you were funny. Yeah, you were funny. That must have been funny.
There's a sudden report of a flintlock behind you, this shot that rings out, and it kind of snaps your attention back to the temple. You hear another shot go off, and you see sort of flashing of muzzles within the temple itself. The boy says, "Are you going to help your friends this time?"
I think that's why I brought them here. Did I bring them here?
You've brought many here.
That must have been funny, too.
The boy looks to you for a second, and you see his eyes gray. You remember those gray eyes as he looks at you, and he says, "No, I wasn't funny. But you remember me that way."
And the sound of his voice, it was almost just the look on his face, but that was still too far gone. The sound of his voice, recognition crawls over her face, and she says, "Oscar," and she just hugs him like a brother.
He sort of stands there, not shrugging away from the hug, but not returning it either. And as you pull away and he steps back, he looks to the temple, back to you. He says, "There's something in the lighthouse."
And I think that's like when this shifts or vanishes, maybe, or something like that dawns on her. Is there a lighthouse around
Not here.
this area? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. I think she would turn around at the flintlock sounds and start moving towards the temple, but not like it would start like a walk, like in a daze, and then she would hold her bag close to her, and you look, and it's just filled with spiders, and she begins running, kind of jogging towards the temple, slowly but surely, running faster and faster. But it's almost like she never left that cliffside.
Back inside the temple, the rest of you are standing in this sort of central courtyard The roof above you has sort of half crumbled in, and so there's like rubble and debris all over the place. These big boulders that have come to settle here in the courtyard. The figure that the others called Vile grabs Reed and sort of takes off up these stairs. The large one, Gavel, steps between you and him, and Shrike sort of circles around to the right flank. Both of them just watching you with these glowing lenses, neither of them making a move yet. I'd like for everyone to roll initiative, if you would, please. And that Barker included, please. Anyone feel like being my initiative czar? I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Cool. Thank you, Lloyd. And I rolled a big fat 3 for the baddies.
Okay.
All right, you guys got to kill them all. Easy.
Rogers Moses. I'm going to start grabbing these bot names for NPCs.
Right? Rogers Moses. It sounds like there's a song about Rogers Moses or
right?
something, you know?
Yeah.
Like the band would have sung it. Like some Deep South guy.
Got some Rogers Moses 45s in my record collection, I'm pretty sure.
It's like a muddy Waters track.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So as this sort of standoff of sorts is happening, Oramel, I believe it was you that managed to not have your gun pulled out of your hand as you first confronted these partisans. What do you do as you are standing here in this courtyard?
So it's a pretty open air courtyard. How far away are they from us?
So they're probably about 40 feet from you. They're sort of like on the other side of this courtyard. So the courtyard itself is probably about 50 by 50, give or take. And there's ample sort of like cover all over the place. There are these, big chunks of stone that have fallen, pillars that have toppled over. And then there are these sort of like corridors and alcoves sort of off to all sides that provide like easy access all around. The set of stairs that Vile went up is sort of at the far end, the opposite end of this courtyard.
All right, I think the first thing I would do is try to like dive behind, especially after like dodging this hook thing. I would try to get behind some kind of cover or duck behind some feature, and if I can do that with my movement, then I would just let's see, what's the range on these weapons? I've got the regular flintlock.
Let me look here. Where is my Driftchapel PDF? There it is.
You don't have it memorized?
I know, right?
Unbelievable.
Here's my fancy physical.
I'm making a note of this.
Tila's got it.
30 feet for a good shot, up to 90 for a bad one.
Okay. So can I find cover that's within 30 feet of one of these guys?
Absolutely, yeah. There's actually like a toppled statue that you can sort of crouch behind and have full cover.
So if when getting there, who's the nearest person to me?
Nearest enemy would be Gavel, the one with the big hammer.
Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cast. Let's double check what kind of action this is. So we use a bonus action to cast a Hunter's Mark, and so for Oramel, it's not arcane magic that he's doing with this. What you see is that he sort of like opens up his coat, and there's all kinds of like tools of the trade in there. He kind of pulls out this little sachet of like, it has sort of this phosphorescence about it, and he kind of like tosses it, and then it kind of creates this like poof of powder, and so there's like little tingling bits of phosphorescent powder that are sort of dropping wherever this guy goes. You can kind of like really see him. It's like some kind of like spore or something from some fungus in this area. And so having done that, he's then going to shoot at this guy. That's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
All right. So damage. Okay, so it's D8 piercing. The damage is going to be, what is the Hunter's Mark? Oh, extra D6. So altogether, that's going to be 8 piercing damage to him.
Okay. Cool. So the shot sort of, it's hard not to hit Gavel. He's just this huge figure, and he's not particularly trying to dodge at this moment. The bullet passes through the armor, and he sort of like his shoulder goes back with the kinetic force of this bullet, and you see him like continue moving forward. Obviously shot, taking damage, but seemingly not feeling the pain of it even a little bit as he continues to stride forward.
Sounds good.
All right. Anything else on your turn, Oramel?
Just, I think once I get to that cover, I shoot, and then I'm just gonna like duck for cover.
Duck down. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Lutra, you're up, and then Michelle's on deck.
All right. Lutra will, similarly to Oramel, try to duck back, finding cover. And would she be able to find a good eye line to Shrike, the one who's kind of trying to slip around to the side?
Yeah, I think you would at this point. She hasn't disappeared at this point. She's still visible, so as you sort of skirt around, you can see her.
Perfect. Lutra will unstrap the rifle from her back, bringing it up so she can look down the sight at Shrike, take a breath to steady herself before trying to take a shot, which I got a 18.
Yes, that will hit.
Perfect.
Nice.
And that will be 9 of whatever type of damage a rifle does. Piercing, I think.
Piercing. Yep. Okay. Similar to Gavel, the shot lands. Shrike's body recoils a bit with the impact of it, but she continues striding forward. You feel you hear rather the breath in her mask maybe quicken a bit as the shot lands, but otherwise she seems undeterred. Okay, if that's you, Lutra, Michele, you're up, and Rheviadis is up next. So, Michele, as you are approaching the temple, you hear additional shots going off, and you actually see this sort of tall, spindly shape with a hood thrown over their head, hauling someone out of the temple, sort of out of the back of the temple. There's like this wooden catwalk sort of encircling the temple over the cliffside, and you see what everyone else knows to be Vile taking Reed out of the back of this temple. They're probably about 60 feet away from you at this point.
And this area that describe this area that goes out over the cliffside.
So the temple itself is sort of like perched on these cliffs
right
over
on
the sea.
edge?
Yeah, and then this like wooden catwalk sort of extends out, so it's sort of like out overlooking the sea. It's like a balcony. Yeah.
And are they dragging Reed on that balcony or below it?
Yeah, they sort of have Reed behind them, and you can tell that Reed is like beaten up or drugged or something. He's like barely putting up a fight as he's being dragged away.
Okay. So, and she's kind of running towards the temple, and we got here and she looked up at the temple and saw herself in like a second-story window.
Yep.
And then kind of went up around this back path. I imagine like a stone rubble path that led up to the cliffside to Oscar. They had the conversation. She starts running inside. She sees, it's kind of above her actually, where the person is dragging Reed out. And so she climbs upward and, is now on this interior ledge, almost like it's like scaffolding, but it's rubble. And she's she's climbing around towards this person, and she looks out the window. She sees herself, and we go to herself down there, and now it's snowing and the temple is new. And she runs up the path and meets Oscar and goes in, and then looks at herself, and now it's raining, storming, and she runs up the path, but she's like wounded this time. She has a cast in her arm, and then runs to the temple. And then it's like cycling over and over again at different times, and the temple slowly becomes rubble, slowly decays over time. And but this time she feels this awareness that she swears is brand new. And so she pursues this. Which one did you say? Okay, it's Vile that's carrying Reed off.
Yeah, Vile, yep.
She is going to follow, but to be honest, I think that this has been so in her head, like infinite times, that that's her turn. She needs to gather herself a little bit and then continue down that path.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yep. So you move, up to your movement speed closer to Vile, and you can see as you're sort of approaching, I don't think it doesn't look like he's noticed you, but he's kind of like turning and looking, and you can see the like glowing lenses of his raven mask as he's sort of scanning around.
The dead lamp-like eyes.
Yep. Okay. Michele, so Rheviadis, you're up, and then Tippet, you'll be next.
So Rheviadis was kind of bringing up the rear, hanging back. I would love to be able to make a stealth check to try and stay hidden.
Yep, absolutely. Go for it.
I should be good at that. That's a 26.
Yeah. You can disappear from the world entirely if you want to. Fake your own death.
Cool. I intend to fake my own death, and I'm going to see if a 14 will hit Shrike.
It will not. Oh, but you're hidden. So do you get advantage? Yes.
I do. A 19 might hit him.
That'll hit.
Okay. So this arrow comes out of nowhere for 17 damage thanks to sneak attack.
She feels that one. That actually, you hear a pained grunt, and Shrike actually like goes to knee for a second before standing back up. Okay.
I'm gonna stay hidden. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm not walking out there.
So I think since you attacked Shrike, Shrike knows where you are, so you're not hidden to Shrike anymore. But you can continue, being in that nice hiding spot for the others. Okay. That was Rheviadis. Okay, Tippet, you're up.
I am also would like to make a stealth check to tuck away into the shadows or behind. Is there any like debris by the entrance to this courtyard?
Yeah, yep. There's a ton.
Okay.
This whole place is debris.
Great. I'm going to try and tuck myself behind a little bit of debris. 7.
You get behind the debris, you benefit from cover, but you're not necessarily hidden.
Wonderful. Great. We'll take it.
Cool.
And is Shrike the only one who has taken damage thus far?
Gavel has taken a bit as well.
Okay.
Oramel got Gavel with a shot from his pistol.
Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and take aim with my longbow at Gavel using Colossus Slayer.
Ooh.
So because he's below his max HP, if I hit, I can add an extra D8 of damage.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, I have to do mental math for the first time in a long time.
Since the last time we played D&D?
21.
21, that hits. Go ahead and roll
Excellent.
damage.
Four damage.
Okay.
And that's with my extra D8, which I rolled a 1 on. We'll take a 1 extra, though.
Nothing to shake a stick at, that's for sure.
And then I would like to move a little bit further behind the debris, actually like kind of duck down and scooch further in.
Yeah, yep. You can take cover, basically, after you take your shot. Okay.
And that's my turn.
Alrighty. Rufus, you're up.
Okay, Rufus will grunt, seeing that we're going to have to fight. He'll like swing the huge shield that's as tall as he is off his back and like he'll move in front of everybody, not behind any cover, just like in the middle of the room, and like thunk the big shield down, and he'll like strike like a tinder box off it to get a little match, and he'll lean his blast pike on the top of the shield and then fire at the big guy. And we'll see how that goes. It goes 17.
That is just enough to hit.
Did the math. 8 piercing damage. And it's going to be a goading attack. So I'll spend one of my superiority dice. And he needs to make a wisdom save.
Wisdom save, okay. I got a 12.
Okay, so he has disadvantage on attacks against targets that are not me. He also gets an additional 4 damage.
Okay, cool.
So Rufus rushes forward and like fires his big shot like at his like knee or something. Calls out something in Dwarvish, Baruch Hazad or something. Which is like some insult against giants, because he thinks like this guy's basically one of those, and it'll do, and maybe it makes Gavel look in his direction.
Yeah, Gavel was sort of like making a beeline for Oramel, because Oramel kind of rushed forward, took cover, take the shot, and then as this shot comes from the other side from your blast pike, Rufus, he again sort of like sort of takes it, and then the owl face sort of slowly swivels like a little bit too far, almost like an owl can do, and the eyes sort of focus on you, and he kind of hefts this ridiculous looking hammer and starts sort of coming toward you. It is their turn. Let's go ahead and do Gavel first, I guess, actually. So Gavel moves up to you, Rufus.
He also has disadvantage against me because I have a displacer cloak.
Oh, man.
The shield.
That's right. That is so cool. Okay. So, well, he's doing reckless attack. So my attack is normal.
If I can interject
Yeah.
perhaps real quickly. So Rufus, you might not even know that it's Lutra, but like somehow you just as you see Gavel coming towards you, you can almost like catch a glimpse of his movements, almost as if in advance, perhaps getting a head start on a dodge or a block or whatever. I'm going to use a portent dice. Gavel is going to roll a 3.
What? Okay, so explain to me how this works.
So it's my divination school mage ability. I have 2 die rolls that I basically get to dock after every long rest. And I can basically replace any ally or enemy roll with whatever the results of those. So I've already rolled those like for session 1. So instead of rolling an attack, he rolls a 3. So we'll still add his modifiers, but theoretically, hopefully it will not be enough.
No, definitely not enough. So yeah, that's kind of amazing. So Gavel comes up, Rufus, and he sort of brings this hammer up over his head. And as he starts to bring it down, you see this like entire like piston-like sort of system within the hammer itself. And this like foresight occurs as Lutra described, and you're able to sort of sidestep out of the way, sort of anticipating Gavel's swing. And as the hammer connects with the ground, there is this like thunderclap, like a gun going off, as this piston sort of closes, and you hear a blast cap within the hammer sort of pop, and there's this and the hammer sort of recoils, and he has it again in the ready position. He's going to do a second attack and sort of swing it, trying to hit you from the side here. Lutra, are you going to do more bullshit, Jeff?
I don't think Lloyd would be particularly happy with me if I used my other portent dice.
Use the other one
right now. So
yep.
However, I'm going to do some bullshit. So don't worry.
Oh, God. Okay. All right.
I'm going to use a riposte because he missed me to attack him.
He did. Oh, yeah. Battle Masters are the best. Okay, cool.
Just the best. So the blast pike is on the top of the shield. Rufus is like chewing on some smoke, and he does the Gimli when he gets missed. And then he'll just like move to the side and like shank the blast pike into the side of this guy. So we'll see if he can pull that off. Only a 14, so probably not.
Nope, not quite enough. So you actually probably connect with him, but it just sort of like turns against his armor.
Okay, that's me.
Okay, now comes the second attack. Just rolling 1 die because he's doing reckless attack here. 21, enough to hit with the shield?
Yes.
Okay, so that will be... How much damage do you do, buddy? 2d10. 14 bludgeoning damage plus so 14 bludgeoning and then 6 fire damage.
Woof. Okay.
So he's coming from the side. He actually connects with your shield, but as the blast cap goes off, you basically just get blown backwards from this attack, and so you feel the weight of this swing, and then the additional fire damage as it sort of washes over the top of your shield from this ridiculous hammer going off as it strikes. And then Gavel again uses the bounce back from that blast cap to sort of have the hammer again in a ready position. And he like pursues. He's sort of like lumbering after you as you sort of compose yourself after this attack. Okay, Shrike is going to... Let's see. Shrike got pretty bodied by Rheviadis, who is no longer hidden from her sight. And so... there's kind of this like snap, like all of Shrike's movements are very like sudden, like she moves almost like a little bird, and her head just like snaps over to you, and you see these lenses just boring into you, and she brings up her left arm, and you hear that hiss of gas from her gauntlet. and a hook comes firing out of it on the end of a line. I will need you to make a dexterity saving throw. $16. Oh man, it's just enough. I really want to pull somebody with this hook. Please, somebody fail a dexterity saving throw. You manage to dodge out of the way. The hook sort of ricochets off the column next to you, and then it sort of snaps back into her gauntlet. She then brings up a hand crossbow and is going to fire it at you. Oh.
You're a good GM. I would have given her a second hook.
I was like, is two too many? I think it's Twilight Princess is the game where you have the 2 hook shots. I think it's, yeah. 15. Does 15 hit? No. And you have cover, too. I keep forgetting that people have cover. So this bolt just... and then Shrike is going to take a bonus action to hide. 18. So Shrike fires off this hook, fires off the hand crossbow, and then just ducks into this like darkened alcove and completely disappears from sight. Outside, Vial has not yet noticed Michele. So Vial just Vial brings out a grappling hook, sort of hooks it onto the banister and swings over the side, basically putting Reed on his shoulder and starting to basically lower himself down to the sea below. Okay. Back to the top of the initiative. Oramel, you are up with Lutra on deck.
Sweet. Since he has my hunter's mark on him, I'm just going to continue to fire at a big guy.
Big
if he's
boy.
within my range.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of like fancy ranger things that I can do, but I didn't realize until this point that a lot of those ranger spells are concentration spells, which makes sense. But
yeah,
it's yeah. So let's just unless there's a bonus act, because I think the thing I can do is a monster slayer's action. Just double check because
Requiem
yeah.
for the 5e ranger.
Yeah. So yeah, let's just shoot him.
Let's just do it. Let's shoot him.
Let's just shoot him and see what happens. He's big, but I don't know if this is gonna help. Can a 14 hit him?
14 does not hit.
All right. I don't think I have anything bonusy, actiony that I can do. I think that's all I can do. I'm going to I think I'm just going to continue to stay in cover. I mean, it's lucky enough that I can continue to fire with this flintlock. So, yeah, that's what I'm just gonna stay within my cover.
Okay,
and
cool.
Find something better to do next time.
All right. Oh no, I'm having to scroll up. Lutra, and then Michele, you're up after that. Thank you, everybody.
So I'm going to have an extremely exciting turn this time. I'm going to duck behind cover and reload my rifle.
Oh, man. Yes. All right, we got to roll to reload. God, let me tell you something. For a while, I was trying to come up with this fun active reloading system, like Gears of War style, where you could roll to like reload really quickly, and there was just no way to do it that wasn't just so entirely cumbersome. But at some point, I'm going to make a cool reloading system for a game, and it's going to be great. All right, Lutra's reloading. Michele, you're up, and then Rheviadis, you're on deck.
Michele moves up towards this figure who's just gone over the side with the grappling hook. And again, she feels brand new. There's something new here. There's something in the lighthouse. And a storm, I think. I don't know. The clouds kind of churn above her. And she moves slowly, though, to the edge. It's kind of a long moment that it takes to get to the edge. And you see the rope just taut as he's climbing down with Reed. They're climbing down. Vile's are they all wearing the raven masks?
So Vile has a raven, Gavel has an owl, and Shrike has like a little sparrow. So they're all birds, but they're like different beaks and stuff. Yeah.
And I had that noted. Thank you for repeating that.
You're welcome.
And as she gets to the edge, it's like a focused twister above her. And she says, Oscar was funny. And I rolled a natural 20. The witch bolt starts from the sky. And Michele is a channel.
Holy shit.
Michele is a channel through which it can move. You see 8 eyes in the storm right above her just gleam down and then disappear, and then it's clouds again. And I'm struggling so much with D&D Beyond. I'm so sorry at all times. That is, I can't believe. Yeah, okay, that's 1d12 lightning damage. Thank you. All right, 6.
6, and then go ahead and roll again since you critted.
Okay.
And add it.
Come on. 6 again, so 12 total.
12.
And I don't know, you tell me, because I think you probably know a little more about Michele's mental state right now than I do in some regards. So does she care about Reed? Does it kind of morph around Reed, or does it engulf them both?
I think because you know that Reed is sort of the object of the mission at this point, I think you do care about Reed, but not like as a person, but more like as an important thing that you need.
Yeah. Get really quick. Again, we have another kind of repeat through time of this happening, but every other time Michele falls down dead, and this time she succeeds. So this is entirely brand new, and the witch bolt holds sustained, and she continues forward, kind of like lurching over the grappling hook, the pair that are clinging to life.
Yeah, there's like a lightning bolt from the sky. This witch bolt descends on Vile and Reed. Vile takes the brunt of it, and you see the magic sort of coursing through, and we get this kind of flickering skeleton, like cartoons almost moment where you can see Vile's skeleton as the power is coursing through him, but the skeleton is like humanish. There's something strange about it. There's more bones than there should be, and also less in places. There's something very off about this creature called Vile, and as the power courses through him, you see his hand reach up, and he grabs a grenade off of that bandolier and sort of pulls it off. And we'll have to see what happens on his turn. Anything else for you, Michele?
No.
It's very much Jason and the Argonaut skeleton. The skull is so mad. It's such a mad skull face. All right. I believe that brings us to Rheviadis with Tippet on deck.
roughly how far is that lightning bolt Michele Vile saga playing out from
About
where we are?
60 feet away from you is where that is playing out.
Oh.
Because it's
Okay.
on the other side of the courtyard and then on the other side of the wall.
Past Gavel and Shrike.
Past Big Boy and Little Bird.
Okay.
Does the disadvantage? I don't know if that's still active to hit anybody but Lloyd. Also with include opportunity attacks.
I assume so. It's goading attack. Disadvantage on all attack rolls until the end of my next turn. Yeah. So
Yes. It would include opportunity attacks. Yep.
Okay.
So Rheviadis sees this like glowing light, and these weird eyes. She just catches a glimpse out of her periphery vision, and recognizing that Reed has been taken that direction, and perhaps there is supervision needed, given that Michele is not with the rest of us. Rheviadis, she looks left, looks right, and jumps and keeps going up. And her boots have these little tiny golden embossed wings on them.
Magic item reveal. Neat.
Got a 30-foot move speed, and I'm a rogue, so I can move and dash and bonus dash. So pretty sure I'm gonna get there this round.
You can actually get to the beacon if you want to on this turn. Like the end of the campaign, you can just speed run it. Yeah.
Cool. Good thing I didn't take Monk with the wing boots, because then you're just really.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. Awesome. So
Go up and over the chaos.
So you moonwalk, on the wind, over the top, like over the crumbling roof, the toppling walls of this temple, and you see the crackling energy of this witch bolt coming down from the sky, and you see Michele silhouetted against it, and the lightning bolt is sort of like crackling down almost into the sea past this cliff face. And if you go a little bit farther, you see this grappling hook with Vile and Reed sort of in the epicenter of this bolt.
I think there's this moment of awe, because even with her many years, magic like this is still so raw in its power, and so she will kind of skirt around this, coming almost, if here's the cliff face, she's going to come around from the water side, opposite facing of Michele. So hovering over the water at this point.
Yep. Okay, cool.
You look in her eyes and you see like a bright white glow in her pupils.
And unless activating the boots is an action, I believe you still have an action, because you could do your movement and then bonus to get to where you needed to go, so you still have an action.
I think probably getting up and over the stuff was like an extra 30 feet.
Yeah. That's fair.
My math brain is telling me like I should go.
I'm not gonna tell you to take an action you don't want to take, but I'm telling you, if you want to take an action, you can.
I think she's probably good just watching this chaos for the moment and not touching the witch bolt.
My action is I try to make sense of what I'm looking at. Yes. All right. Tippet, you're up, and then Rufus is next.
All right. I am going to pop out from under my cover and take aim at Gavel again. With my longbow.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I just had a weird corner roll where it was like on a point. There we go. Oh, no, it does not hit. I rolled a 6. So
arrow goes wide, lands in the courtyard. Gavel's still entirely focused on Rufus. Anything else on your turn, Tippet? Any movement or anything?
Where this debris is there a way to kind of continue to skirt around so that I'm heading towards the back exit?
Yeah.
Along the debris?
Yeah, you can absolutely do that. So
okay. I'm just going to kind of shuffle, not even my full 25 feet, but just sort of be heading in that direction.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You can use like half your movement or so.
Yeah.
Cool.
To just be down below my back of my cover and shuffling around.
Totally. You are able to do so. Okay, Rufus, you're up. And then I think it's the 3 stupid nerds, right? Yep.
3 stupid nerds. One of these stupid nerds is getting a blast pike firmly in the thigh. I got a crit for 18 damage. So Rufus is going to, I guess he's like got the shield. He doesn't really like, it's more like a cover that he carries. It's huge. It's like as tall as he is. So he like slaps it on the ground and then like pokes around it with the blast pike and then like heaves it to the next place he's standing. So he like throws it down on the ground and like manages to stab through for 18 damage. And I'm tempted to action surge. I am going to do it. I'm going to action surge and go again. And then let's see how that goes.
I feel like if you think about using action surge, it's already too late.
It's the law. Yeah.
Yep.
It's a dirty 20 that time.
Yep, that hits.
That time for 9 damage, and I'm tempted to goading strike again. I am going to do it. Glad you guys are enjoying my turn.
Whoa, how much damage? How much damage was that second attack?
9.
9? Okay, cool. All right.
But it'll be more now because of goading attack. It'll be an additional 1. Great, so 10 damage.
All right.
And he needs to make another wisdom save.
Yeah. 12 again.
Awesome. He can only attack me. Well, no, he can attack everybody, but he has disadvantage on everyone.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Except for you. Okay.
Yep, so Rufus will keep stabbing and harrying him at the side, and sort of he's trying to pull him so he's not even facing the others. I guess he's like slowly moving around behind him and getting his attention so that the others can do what they need to do.
Yeah, as you continue kind of like sparring with Gavel here, these like little vents kind of like open up in the mask, and you see these like plumes of gas coming out. Like he's like breathing heavy as he's fighting and taking this damage. He actually kind of, when you get him with the blast pike sort of between the plates of his armor, he actually like dips down a little bit and has to bring himself up with the hammer again to continue fighting.
Sorry, I forgot that he attacked recklessly, so I'm just going to roll one more time and see. It's another crit. Oh my god. Okay, so he actually hits crit again. It's on D&D Beyond. I wish I could show you.
I believe you. I believe you entirely. I forgot that he had reckless attacked as well.
Yes, so did I. But I was like, wait a second.
I could crit again.
So instead of the 10, it would be 16 this time. Okay. Oh, wait. Does superior dice also double? It's all dice.
I would assume so. It's included in the damage for the attack, right?
Christ almighty.
Hey, Matt, do you like that you've invited us over to play and we were just
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, guys, I got these really cool new toys. And you guys just snap them. Yeah.
Let me see that owl in there, and I'm just like step on him.
Cool hammer, nerd.
Actually, it's 24 damage from that crit in total.
Okay.
From the goading.
Okay.
Strike. So Rufus is it's his finest hour. He's just like, I don't know how it's happening here, but it's all coming together for him. Like the runes are glowing on his shield, and he's just like dancing around this guy in a way that he's never been able to before. It's all been leading to this moment, I think. And that's it for Rufus.
Oh, man. So, yeah, Gavel is like not doing well. There's like, he's labored breathing. He's having to take a knee for a second. There's hesitation in picking up the hammer. There's almost a pause as he hefts it again to try and attack. Let's see here. Okay. Gavel sort of swings the hammer over his head, and for a second, Rufus, you're like, this guy's really losing it. He's not aiming for me at all. But he sort of like hits this rubble under the ground, and as the blast cap goes off, this like shower of rubble just erupts towards you, this like shotgun blast of rocks that have like fire on them from the blast cap. Please give me a dexterity saving throw, if you would, please.
Son of a bitch. My cloak. Useless. It's save. Never mind. It's 100% a fail. It's like an 8.
Okay. All right. So that will be... That's a 10, a 6. Oh my god. Did you really just roll a 1 on a d10? That's 5 whole damage coming at you. It's more the cool factor of the display of these flaming rocks hurling towards you, but they don't do much damage. Okay, and then he gets 2 attacks, so he brings the hammer up over his head and is going to try and just bring it down on top of you. Disadvantage because of the shield. Still got a 9 on the low dice, so 15, probably not enough to hit.
No,
Okay.
I think because he hit... If I take damage, so he actually doesn't have disadvantage because I took damage and the cloak stops working if I take damage.
Oh, okay, cool. So 22 then.
That'll hit.
Okay, all right. Hey, now we're making things happen. Let's roll some damage. Okay. So 12 damage on that attack.
Oh. Ugh. My spine.
And it's like... Yeah, just every time this hammer hits anything, it sounds like a gun going off. It's honestly pretty disorienting.
I love it so much. Statted it out.
I do. I have it started out right here. It's a concussive hammer. Ready to go. Ready to rock.
Rufus. It's soon to be Rufus's.
Yes. Rufus is like, yoink, I'll just take this. All right. Let's see here. Shrike. What is Shrike gonna do? Okay. Shrike is over there. All right. Lutra, does 17 hit you?
Is this just an attack roll?
Just an attack roll, yep.
Normally it would, but I will burn a spell slot to shield it up.
Goddamn shield. Yep, do it.
Yep, which I imagine it's so what's happening to me?
So
in this situation?
a dagger comes out of the darkness at you as Shrike sort of manifests out of the alcove next to you and starts swinging a dagger at you.
So if I can reflavor, instead of like a magical like barrier hitting the dagger like shield would normally be, I imagine like Shrike is coming like at Lutra from behind to like thrust this dagger, and just somehow anyways she still like dodges to avoid it. Let's just like somehow she, as if she was looking right at Shrike as they wound up the strike, just like whoop.
Yeah, like you reround time a half second and just decided to dodge out of the way. Very cool. Shrike is sort of like bearing down on you. Her first attack miss, and so she comes up under with a second blade swinging at you. This one not at advantage and will not hit. An 11. I rolled an 11. Okay, Vile has pulled this grenade off of his bandolier. Barker, do you want me to roll to see what this grenade is, or do you want me to pick one?
I want you to pick one. I want you to roll. I want you to roll and then pick one.
I'm gonna roll. Okay, I got the one I wanted anyway. Okay. The grenade that he pulls off, this device, it has like on either end of it, it has these like brass sort of caps, these like very ornate sort of interlocking caps, and then it's glass in between. And in the glass, you see this this blue-white liquid sort of sloshing around inside the grenade. And with his thumb, he sort of like pulls this little pin off of it and is going to throw it up at the cliff. Please give me a Constitution saving throw, if you would, please, Michele.
Five, and I'm guessing the witch bolt is broken.
Witch bolt is concentration, so we'll do a roll after you take damage here to see if it breaks concentration.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah.
I see.
So 10 cold damage.
What?
And your speed is reduced by half. You can make another con save on your turn if you want to try and beat that. As the grenade sort of shatters against the cliff beneath your feet, Michele, this liquid splashes upwards, and as it touches your skin, it freezes so quickly that it burns. Like, you feel this intense cold as the liquid splashes against you and then immediately turns to gas, just like sort of this almost like steam coming off of you. So cold that you feel your movement slow. He then reaches and pulls out a flintlock and aims it up and is going to shoot. It's 13 hit.
Yes.
Okay. That will be 4 piercing damage from the flintlock. And then he just drops it. He doesn't bother tucking it away. He doesn't bother reloading. He just drops the flintlock.
It damages Michele a great deal, all of this. You see the frozen clothes and flesh, the spiders, the Oscars, the many Oscars dead in the ice. And then
oh yeah, wait, I take it back, he didn't use the grenade.
No. And the gunshot is a glancing blow, but it's as devastating as it can be as a glancing blow, but you couldn't tell looking at Michele's face, looking down at him. It's almost like she felt nothing.
All right, that was vile. Oramel, you are up once again.
All right. So let me just double check. All right. How far can I reach? Can I reach Lloyd's character with a movement?
Yes, you definitely can. Gavel's sort of between the two of you, but there's enough space where you can sort of like go around him to get to Rufus.
All right. Yeah, I would try to make my way to Rufus and kind of get all up in their business, and then I take out this really nasty looking syringe that's filled with all kinds of just just nasty looking liquid, and I just plunge it into Rufus as a cure wounds.
It's the nastiest cure wounds ever. I love it.
Yeah. It's just a big old syringe stuck right into it. I stick it right into his
filled with Dr. Pepper.
Yeah,
you give him a Pulp Fiction.
Right?
Yeah, right in the chest.
And so I'm gonna go ahead and he heals for 9 points. And in terms of bonus actions, I think that's about it. I'm just gonna be here by his side and prepare for being in the line of fire.
Cool. I need Rufus to do the StarCraft Marine getting the stem. That was good. That was really good. You even did the like cutoff of it where it like just stops suddenly. Yeah. All right. Cool. That was Oramel. Lutra, you're up. Michele is on deck. Oh, Michele, right. We got to do your concentration roll. We'll do that at the beginning of your turn. Lutra, go ahead.
Perfect.
So I was gonna use this on someone else, but just everyone else either did fine on their own or didn't attack. So I guess I'm gonna use it on me. Lutra will bring her rifle up, having finally reloaded it. These damn flintlocks take so long. And like amidst like Oramel charging like in front of her and past, and Rufus and Gavel like dancing around each other with rains of gravel and hammer smashes, Lutra will like take a second to not like run away from Shrike, but just take a side step to bring her rifle up. And Oramel and Rufus, you will both like feel like a bullet like whiz past both of you, between both of you, as I will use my second important die to give myself a natural 20.
Wow. Holy shit. Oh my god. Okay, so you can pre-roll. You can pre-roll a 20 and then bank it for later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. That's neat.
If you happen to roll a 20, which I did, which is
man, that's great.
Amazing. So I'm gonna give myself a crit to like just snake a shot between them and somehow catch Gavel off guard. And cool. These rifles have a D12s, so I'm gonna deal 23 damage with this rifle shot.
Matt, what have you done? Okay. Yep. He is still standing, but that shot goes like clean through. Like it passes through him. It goes through the armor and out the other side. And you hear him go like inside the mask. And there's actually like from the vents where the gas is coming out, you see blood trickle from the vents of his mask as he kind of like lurches forward as this shot passes through him.
Lutra will then drop the rifle and also will pull out a dagger, like turning back to Shrike, who's probably very confused at Lutra just turning away for a quick second to like shoot a sniper style shot and hopefully not get stabbed.
You 360 no scoped Gavel. You were like incredible. For a second I thought you were going to use the gun to heal people, and I thought you were doing like an Ana from Overwatch thing.
That would be cool, but I don't have healing, so.
All right. Very cool. Michele, you're up. Rheviadis on deck.
Let's do the focus.
Yes, concentration. So it's just your whatever your spellcasting modifier is, and you're trying to beat the damage that you took, which was 10.
Okay. All right. Here we go. I'm ready. I did it.
Good job.
I
you maintained
rolled
concentration.
A natural 20. This is second one. So I maintained concentration through both the ice and the gunshot. And but the witch bolt stops, I think, because she just like notices something's different. She looks up to you, Rheviadis, Rheviadis, Rev, and her eyes glow from hot white back to this blood red, Black Widow hourglass red, but they're just faint, and there's just something different in them. But she looks to you as this person is still hanging there, right? Do they have any other grenades on them?
They have a lot of grenades on them, yes.
Okay, so they have plenty of grenades.
Yep, and then they pulled out a gun and shot you, dropped it, and then pulled out another one.
Okay, well, thankfully speaking is a free action, because she says something to Rheviadis along the lines of, I'll keep I think she I'll keep the important one. I think that's what she says. That's how she sees it. Reed is the important one. And she looks down, and you see spiders crawl out from all over her. Absolutely profound ways. And they crawl down the grappling hook until they're covering the rope, and they're going to reach Vile. This infestation is the spell. The Druid Spell. The target must succeed at a Constitution saving throw, or it takes 1d6 poison. That's 10. And they just start biting and stinging, and there's just all different varieties, big, chonky, bulbous ones that open up and just spill their venom and all over Vile. The question, though, is I think Vile is clothed enough to where it probably wouldn't get through.
Maybe. Okay, so I rolled my Constitution. I got 18 on the die for a total of 24. I'm assuming that beats your DC.
Yep.
Is it just save, take no damage, or does he take half?
Yep. It's you must succeed on a con saving throw, or you take 1d6 poison damage, and you move 5 feet in a random direction.
Oh man. Okay. Not something you want to happen when you're hanging from a rope.
It's something I want to happen while they're hanging from a rope.
So, even though he doesn't take any damage, just the spiders crawling over him, you hear him in the mask, and he's like waving, like getting them off of him. Mm-hmm. He drops the gun that he's holding and like is
nice,
like sweeping the spiders off of his lenses because they're literally, he can't see.
They start coming out of the cliff that there is under them. Like they just start coming out of the earth all around. Like it's
like Fellowship of the Ring when they come out of the ground.
Exactly.
Yes. Yep. Killer. Oh, that's so creepy. I love it. Yeah, he's actually like kicking away from the wall on this rope, like basically trying to get as far away from these spiders as possible. And you see like spiders just falling off of him by the dozens as he's just like swinging and batting them away.
How is Reed?
Reed is barely conscious, and if he was conscious, he would probably just be screaming, I imagine.
Okay, actually, she would probably say to Rheviadis, you should get the important one. Something like that, like panicking, like she's out. Yep. Nice. This
Amazing.
Was a good moment.
Yes. Killer.
Rheviadis was already thinking that as she was watching this, because she understands that Michele often comes from a place of good intentions, but as she watched the swarm of spiders, she considered that perhaps the intention and the effect were opposed. And so I would like to, while he is holding a rope with one hand and potentially batting at spiders with the other, I would like to try and grab Reed off his shoulder.
Yeah. We can call it like opposed dexterity. We can try and do sleight of hand. Like, what do you think?
I'll go dexterity. That's good for me. I'm just gonna try and like fly down and like do a drive-by grab.
Yeah, and I'm gonna give him disadvantage on this because he is hanging from a rope, so he's only able to use one arm, and he's covered in spiders, and so I'm gonna give him disadvantage on the check.
Straight dex?
Yeah. It's not looking good for me. I got a 3.
I got a crit.
Okay, so what does it look like? Like, describe as you just like masterfully pull off this rescue operation.
I don't know that he's even noticed that she was there. Michele and the witch bolt and the spiders and the grenade. And then all of a sudden the weight is lifted literally from his shoulder as Rheviadis is going down, and she's got kind of both hands, one at the collar and one kind of on the belt. She's hauling Reed bodily, and then she'll do like a flip and kind of like, really do the carry. and
God, just like carrying a dog that's a little too big to carry. Just
a little too big.
Yeah.
Like, kind of awkward about it.
Yeah. You have Reed. You are now in possession of Reed. You have him. Good job, Rheviadis.
Cool. I am gonna use my movement and my dash to hopefully get out of grenade launching range.
Probably a good idea. Okay. Damn, awesome. All right, Tippet, you're up. Rufus, you're on deck.
All right, so Gavel is still kicking, but not looking good, right?
Not looking good.
Am I within 25 feet? Can I get over there?
Yeah, because you've kind of been skirting your way along, so yeah, you're able to get there in 25.
Okay. So I'll sort of hop over the debris and dropping my longbow, Tippet reaches down to her boot and flips up a dagger, but it has a more bulbous handle than usual. It's like a 2-in-1 dagger club. It's a fishwhacker. So
it's a fishwhacker, yeah!
So she pulls out the fishwhacker and is coming for Gavel.
I'm gonna die if this is what takes Gavel out, is fucking fishwhacker.
And I rolled a 1.
Oh no! Hey, you're a halfling.
I am a halfling. Okay, so
You get to say no one's today, baby.
No one's for me.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm a
that's
hobbit.
really good news.
Yep.
All right. So 21 to hit.
That hits. Yeah.
And 6 damage, and then with my Colossus strike, I get to add a d8 for another 6 damage, so 12 damage total.
Jesus. Okay.
And do I still have a bonus action?
Yeah.
Colossus Slayer is just a special once per turn.
Yep. Yeah. So it doesn't count as your bonus action if you have something else.
So I'm gonna use my bonus action to toss the dagger over club side up, and do use my 2-weapon fighting.
Yeah.
To give him a whack over the head too.
Cool.
Oh, and there I rolled another 1, so we're gonna try that again. And then this dice is gonna go in the naughty pile. So that's 19 to hit.
That hits.
And 6 damage, 8 damage total with the Colossus Slayer.
Okay. All right. So, Gavel is sort of still recovering from this shot from Lutra. He's sort of squaring off against both Oramel and Rufus, and then you kind of come up behind him and basically hit him in the back of the knee with the fishwhacker, and he just like drops to one knee. He's just like, and he's like holding himself up on this warhammer as you do so, just breathing like ragged inside this this breath mask. Okay, that was Tippet. Rufus, good turn, Tippet.
Very nice. 21 to hit for 12 damage.
Go ahead and describe what it looks like when you kill this guy.
Awesome. Yeah, it's the bonk on the back of the head from the fishwhacker was what it took. He like drops to the one knee, and now he's at Rufus's height. And Rufus is able to like line up a shot, and it's like not pretty or graceful or like particularly impressive. It's just like efficient, just and he'll like twist once to make sure, and then pull out the blast pike. He'll like look around to see where the other targets are, and I'll use a bonus action to second wind, and that's it.
Okay. Gavel sort of just like slumps forward, not falling over, but just sort of like in a sort of seated position, slumped over. And you hear like the last breath sort of wheeze out of the mask. And then just like blood just like drips steadily from the vents as the lenses in the mask sort of go dark and the hammer in his hand goes slack. Up on the, or in the alcove rather, where Lutra and Shrike are facing off. Shrike sort of watches this happen and looks at you, Lutra, and she says, "You will all pay for this." And she starts stepping backwards. She's going to disengage as a bonus action and then attempt to hide. 18 on the die, 24 stealth check. She melds with the shadows, just disappears, and the last thing you see, Lutra, are these two just glowing eyes as they just wink out. On the cliffside, Vial is hanging by this rope covered in spiders, and he looks up at you, Michele, and he says through the mask, "This is not over." He lets go of the rope, pulls out 2 flintlocks as he's falling, and fires both of them. One is a miss. The other one is 13.
That hits.
Okay. It's going to be 5 piercing damage from the shot that hits. He just lets go of both flintlocks, and you see him just fall, just plummet. The wind whipping his jacket, and you hear him hit the water down below. We are out of initiative. Let's take a quick break and then wrap up the session. We'll be right back. Yep, they are. I had to wait until it swapped over to check. Hey, everybody, we're back. Thanks for sticking around. So, the partisans have fled. Gavel lies dead in the middle of the courtyard, and Rheviadis is carrying the sort of half-conscious Reed in her arms. Michele, you're sort of standing on the cliffside. What's going on? What do you do as this figure sort of disappears into the sea beneath you?
There's a long moment where she just kind of stands there, and then every wound hits all at once. And she says, there's something in, and she collapses over. And is there anyone there that she would like reach towards?
I think Rheviadis is still somewhat around.
I think that she would look to you, no matter how close you were, and say, with a smile on her face, there's something in the lighthouse, and I think we have to kill it. And then there's thunder above.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I think she passes out. I'm serious. I think she dreams of a lighthouse and Oscars there. Briefly.
Rheviadis will land and determine who between Michele and Reed is most injured and in need of the singular healing potion that she has.
Yeah, Reed, though he is injured, appears like sort of cosmetically injured. It looks like he's been roughed up a little bit, maybe, but is otherwise unharmed. It seems like he's maybe been drugged or something, because he's just sort of like, sort of talking as he's like coming out of a stupor. Michele looks a lot rougher. She's got like frostbite on her arms and shit.
Rheviadis is not totally uneasy about spiders, but as she like has this spider venom healing that was given to her by Michele, and she is coming close to Michele's body, she sees the little spiders that are there watching her with their many dark eyes, and she kind of talks to him. It's okay. We're helping. And she'll very cautiously administer the healing potion.
Is that a D8? Is that...
You made it. I don't know.
What is a healing potion?
It's 2d4 plus 1, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I think it's plus 2, right?
Is it plus 2?
Regular.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. 2d4 plus 2.
I gain 8. And she wakes up. You've spent a lot of time with her, camping in wildernesses, staying in places. You've spent a lot of time, and you've always seen her wake up screaming like out of a nightmare. And then she checks this tattoo on her arm, and then she gets happy, and she's reminds herself that everything is okay. And then that's it. That's how she always wakes up. This is the first time she's woken up without that. She actually wakes up and says, and I think we need to kill it. Like right when she wakes up, as if the pain is gone. And then she kind of pauses and looks around, and then realizes in that moment that she remembers her dream, but she's like wonders now if she's dreaming now, because this is very new to her.
You okay over there?
She looks to you with strange alertness. And she feels like a moth out of the cocoon a little bit. She stands up and smiles and says, I'm okay. How are you?
Good. You got hit pretty hard. You're acting a little weirder than usual. Are you sure you're okay?
She looks down and she's going to use her own healing potion, but it's going to be reskinned, and I'm going to gain 7 back. It's reskinned. The spiders are crawling over her, biting the parts of her that are wounded, and they're healing up. And she looks up and smiles and takes a deep breath and says, "We should check on the others."
Mm-hmm.
We should check on the others, Rufus says inside as he finishes pulling the spear out of Gavel, and he'll look to Oramel and say, "Thank you. You saved me, I think."
Oramel holsters his pistol. You can see he's like a little. There's like a little bit of disappointment, and he says, "Well, I'm glad I could have been of some use in the fight. Yes, let's look in on them." And yeah, I'll start heading over there. I'll also just see Lutra. Are you doing okay?
I'm fine, yes. She'll reach down to pick up the rifle that she dropped. Still, I imagine still sort of staring into the dark void that this other person has just vanished into, half expecting a dagger to come reach out and stab her. But she'll sort of step away, still watching the darkness, before getting appropriately far away, back into the middle of the courtyard. I'm fine. Yeah, I didn't manage to get hit.
Well, good. And I'll say, good shooting.
Thank you. It's not too hard when we have both of you there to distract him.
Yes, Rufus, really, you took it on the chin for us.
Are you okay? She'll say, looking over to the dwarf.
Yes, I'll be fine. We can only account for one of the three.
Yeah, I would actually, seeing that this other one is gone, maybe try to do some sort of perception or investigation to see if there's any trace of that person, of this shrike.
Yeah, go ahead and do either perception or investigation, whichever you prefer.
Sure. This is how I help. It's going to be 24.
So you sort of follow the trail for a moment that Shrike took. You see the path leads down. Excuse me. Down the sort of the slope of the island down to the coast, and kind of you see it sort of disappearing almost into the water, it seems like. But the thing you notice most, Oramel, as you're kind of following this trail to where it ends, is that the water is sort of moving as if there's something large beneath it displacing it. There's something leaving the island that is massive, but it is under the water.
The idea of a submerging ship or vehicle would be strange in this world, correct?
Yes.
Okay. He says, I don't quite know how they're doing it, but they seem to have made their escape beneath the water. I'm not sure how, but there is something very large down beneath the waves that they use to make their escape.
What? Speak up, I can't hear you.
These assailants, they seem to have taken their escape by going beneath water, but there is something large that might be transporting them.
Oh yeah.
Has Michele ever seen anything like this in her affinity for animals? Is she feeling or able to, if she had seen this, could she tell if it was a living thing or some sort of underwater dirigible? Is that a thing? Submarine?
Potentially. There are large creatures that live under the water off the coast of off the continent. It's one of the reasons why it's dangerous to venture too far. You've never heard of anyone utilizing any of these creatures for any sort of transport. And the vibe you get is not one of it being a natural thing. And Oramel, that would go for you as well. It didn't seem like something like a creature. It didn't move like a creature would.
Because they brought a ship here that they've left behind, correct?
So the Thurlan soldiers brought a ship, but you have no idea how the Partisans got here. Yeah,
Partisans. Okay.
Is that where the vial? Is that where vial went down? Near where the? I'm just gonna call it a submarine. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then Michele looks to you, Oramel, and says, "I saw one of them go down there. If that's in some sort of underwater transport," she says with just vivid agency and lucidity, then it was one of them that took it. Did you see what direction it went?
I just point in the direction that I, from my sort of carry over from my perceptive skills. I say it must have gone in that direction. They're not far off.
Did we get Reed?
I look up at Rheviadis, who's flying above me.
Yep, got him.
And
they can go.
Reed is starting to stir, his fish-like eyes sort of blinking open, bleary. What? Who? Where am I?
We don't need to follow them if we have him.
No, exactly. We must... Rheviadis, could you please bring him down here?
I'd feel better back on this ship.
I agree. Let's reconvene.
Shouldn't we search?
Yes, there must be a reason why they brought him here for us. But yes, we
Matt,
should reconvene.
Would I know if this is like one of the closest reliable land masses to where the lighthouse was supposed to be? Would that be like the most plausible explanation for coming here?
Yeah, it's sort of like last stop before just the expanse of the ocean. Sort of like the farthest little spit of land. There are other islands, but they're not really large enough to like have a person on or like live on. So this would be like the logical place to go if you were looking to make a voyage out that way.
Yeah. Rheviadis would probably like say that, be like, well, you're welcome to look around, but I'm taking him back to my ship.
Well, you'll be waiting for us. He'll mumble to himself, and he'll begin like turning over every stone in that dwarvish way. He'll pick up that exploding hammer for sure.
Yeah, you pick up the concussion hammer, and I'll get you the stats for that for next session.
I imagine it's comically huge in Rufus'
yes.
hands.
Yeah.
So we'll see if he can even wield it.
It does. It requires 16 strength to even be able to hold it.
He's got an 18.
Okay, so you're good. It's heavy, but you can hold it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more awkward probably than it is heavy for him. It's just like too long for his body. Maybe what he'll do is he'll like snap off the last like 2 feet of the handle, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Mjolnir style. That's
yeah.
great.
Yes, yeah, yep. Oh my god. Like just one-handed
Please do
warhammer
that.
with blasting caps. Yes. Oh man, I'll let you too. I'll let you do it.
He'll take that and then he'll I think probably with Oramel just like search for any other hints about the partisans and whatever else we can find here. Spend some time doing that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Of course, absolutely. Okay, so Rufus and Oramel doing that. Oramel, we can use your previous roll. Rufus, if you want to make a perception or investigation. Rheviadis is going back to the ship. Tippet, what are you up to?
I am sticking with Rheviadis and Michele, getting read back to the ship and kind of tending to them in my sort of like caretaker nature way.
Yeah. Lutra, what about you?
I think for now, Lutra is probably best served with Oramel and Rufus scouting out around here. But rather than just make a roll, Lutra is going to try to tap in to darker things. I'm just going to cast a Detect Magic just to see if I can get any sort of leads on anything in that direction. If she can spot any lingering auras or effects that are around here.
Yeah, so there are a few things that you detect. There are small little pockets of like arcane energy where glyph shot landed. So when these guys were firing off glyph shot, anywhere that glyph shot landed, there's like this lingering sort of wafty aura. There's magic coming off of Gavel. It's dwindling, but it's sort of wafting off of him as well. And then the temple itself, there's some sort of diffused magic here, possibly of a divine origin, that is kind of muddling up the works. It's sort of this static in the background of your arcane sense. But probably the strongest aura is around Gavel himself.
And Lutra would say as much to the others. Just almost everything around here is covered in some lingering magical energy. The temple itself seems to radiate some background level of divine power. The glyph shot and Gavel have left pockets of arcane energy as well. Whatever this place was, it seems to have some significance, perhaps some power. Gavel himself seems to have some strong energy, fading now, but present.
And Rufus, with that investigation, would actually say that you sort of ascertain that this temple is of dwarven make, or was at one point before it was taken over by others. The stone here, the foundation that is laid, is very obviously dwarven make.
That's why it's still standing. He'll say to the others. He'll keep searching and stuff for a time, but then he'll go and start to dig a grave for Gavel. He's not going to let him rot. So he'll dig a grave, and then unless someone wants to do something untoward with his body in terms of like chopping up to see what's inside, he'll bury him and say prayers and make sure that he's he can go to the right place.
Hell.
Straight to hell.
I mean, I would have just done a cursory investigation of his body, you know, unless that initial investigation seemed to warrant more, a deeper digging. Yeah, I just kind of want to figure out what's up with him and understand our enemy a little bit better.
So the most obvious thing that you notice, just even cursory glancing, is that many of the bullets that sort of got past his armor and pierced his flesh were stopped by bone. There just seems to be more bone in this guy's body, and he's particularly heavy. His skeleton is very heavy. There's like extra ribs that make up like a protective lattice in front of his organs and stuff. His limbs are longer than they should be, and you can see like suture marks and stuff where things have been like lengthened and manipulated and altered. This is well, you can tell also that he is a half-orc under the mask, but his skin is almost translucent, pale white, sort of albino looking, and it's very obvious that he's undergone likely dozens of surgeries.
So it's possible that all of these partisans have been their flesh has been molded to make them capable killers. So we get the sense that the Thurland soldiers bought the glyph shot to deal with the partisans.
Yeah, that seems to be the case. That's kind of what Goodwin insinuated, was that the glyph shot was going to be good against the partisans. Yeah.
So they are a little bit more a little bit better protected against our more mundane efforts. So next time, make sure to be better armed against them. But yes, they are experiments run rampant. I'm going to take his breather mask just in case I might need it.
You pull the mask. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wouldn't necessarily want to like mess with his body in particular, but you just want to check his possessions just to make sure there's not any notes or maps or useful objects of any sort that he might have been carrying, in case we haven't checked yet. Yeah, no,
except for the hammer, he doesn't really have anything else on him. He's wearing a belt, has like a little dagger on it, and like a couple empty bottles of, it looks like some sort of potion that he was drinking that is empty. But other than that, he doesn't really have anything on him aside from that weapon. You pull the mask off Oramel, and you see the face underneath. Hairless, no eyebrows or anything, no facial hair to speak of. Tusks that have kind of been filed down, and like a kind of a like mundane looking face. It's kind of startling to take off this sort of this owl visage and just see a man underneath the mask. His eyes kind of open underneath the mask, just staring blankly up at the gray sky.
I look around to look to Lutra and Rufus, and I say, do we feel the need to delve any further into this place, or?
I'm satisfied.
We came here for Reed, and we got him. I think that should get us on the right track.
Agreed. Well, I guess the question is if they are moving to a destination they know they must go, or if they haven't quite got the information they need yet. I suppose only Reed will know.
Will you help me, Oramel, dig a grave?
Gladly.
While Rufus and Oramel are digging a grave, Michele, Rheviadis, and Tippet, you arrive back on the boat. Your crew, Rheviadis, is relieved to see you return alive and relatively unscathed, as the sound of the battle was fairly frantic. But Reed is sort of coming to as you get back to the boat, and he seems very nervous. He's odd little man. He's sort of short and stunted. He sort of keeps his shoulders up in this kind of posture that insinuates that he's basically just trying to make himself as small and unassuming as possible. His features are human, but distinctly fish-like. You can see kind of the shine of sort of iridescent scales sort of, on his temples and down his face. His skin is kind of this gray-green kind of tinge and is kind of slick and clammy to the touch. And his mouth is like very wide, and you can see like inside his mouth he has these almost like lamprey-like teeth that he takes great pains to like not flash as he's speaking. And as you're approaching the boat, he would say, "Oh, where are you taking me exactly?"
To get water or whiskey, whichever.
Well, whiskey would be very appreciated if you have it.
Of course.
Who are y'all working for?
She'll look at Tippet.
Well, we were. Oh no, were we sent here by Yesenia Foxglove?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. We're sent here by the Baroness herself. It seems like you might have some important information.
He kind of breathes a sigh of relief. You're from Driftchapel, then. I got nabbed from there by the Thurlin troops. And then those others showed up, and I don't know. Listen, I don't know what much I can tell you, but I'll help you if I can. You're a mite nicer than the Thurlin guys were.
Well, look, we're going to get you safely back on the ship, get you cleaned up, feeling better, belly with some food, get you back to Driftchapel, and we can talk along the way.
Oh, that would be great. Thank you. He seems very relieved to be with people who aren't actively hurting him or forcing him to give up information. So any food, any drink that you give him, he happily takes, and seems very hungry, very thirsty, very tired. The rest of you arrive at the ship, and you're all gathered on the deck. You have a moment to speak to one another if you want here.
Our enemy is an amalgamation of flesh and strange science and natural philosophy. Yes, does seem that we should keep our glyph shot handy, as it might be effective against their supernatural defenses. They are also taking some sort of underwater conveyance. The question is, if I were to read, is if they know where they're supposed to be going. If not, I imagine they will not be far behind, and they may be tracking us to where we head. In which case, we must take as much precaution as possible, as I do not know how this vessel will fare against theirs. It does not seem that the Thurland vessel had much luck against them.
Y'all are heading towards the last light, then?
If you can show us the way.
I suppose I could... Yeah, I suppose I could find it for you. That's what Thurland wanted too, but... You should just leave it alone.
Well, I will be the first to acknowledge the very obvious thing that's staring at us, and that is your complexion and the oddity of your flesh. I'm assuming that what we seek might be the cause of this.
Nope, I've always looked like this.
Were you cursed as a child?
Yeah, in a way. My family has deep one blood. Some of us look like this. Not all of us.
Does that mean anything to Michele?
It probably would. You know that the deep ones are creatures that are known to sort of lurk the coasts primarily, and they're kind of prolific around Driftchapel. Tippet, you've definitely at least heard of deep ones, if not straight up had an encounter with them before. The deep ones that are actual deep ones are tend to be pretty monstrous in their sort of behavior, but there have been instances of people who are descended from deep ones who are not so monstrous.
Well, if I'm to understand how things have gone for you in the past several days, I would guess that you made your way back to Driftchapel after spotting the beacon. You were accosted by Thurland soldiers who brought you out here, and then you came across these
we know that part. What happened to your ship? Why was it at the bottom of the bay?
The captain said that there was light in the walls that was talking to him, and so he scuttled it with a keg of powder in the hold. And I think he was on it when he did that.
Do you start to hear this voice and see this light after visiting last light?
No. And I think I'm the only one that hasn't, and also the only one left, right?
Probably.
I didn't go ashore, I think is why.
So last night drove your captain and his entire crew mad.
Yeah, I guess it did.
Did they say what they saw there?
Oh. One didn't come back. And the rest just weren't the same. We lost 3 on the way back.
Do you know if these partisans managed to find out where they needed to go?
No, I didn't even have a chance to tell them anything before you showed up. I don't think they know where they're going, except east. But
Back up to the crew. You lost 3? Lost how?
2 jumped overboard, and the third used a pistol.
Whoosh.
I don't see the wisdom in continuing to ask what horrors await us. We have to go there, regardless.
Yes.
What? You have to go there though.
Yes.
We have been commissioned. We all have our own separate purposes. Though I would not look around everybody. Though I would not blame anyone knowing this information that they do now of not going further. Though I'm going to need a ship. We're going to need a ship.
Am I exempt from that? I imagine
as long as you can take us to where we need to go. I do not imagine that we will need you at last light.
You can stay on the ship.
Yeah.
Someone has to tell of our foolishness so that others will ignore you and do exactly as we are doing now.
Okay, great. There's something with the light from the beacon. I think that makes people weird, and we'll have to approach carefully. I guess is my point.
Michele is kind of sitting on the side of the ship, and she has 4 pupils in each eye, and she is kind of moving her hands around in a circular motion forward, and she's using some sort of power. There's not a spider to be seen. Using some sort of power, channeling something to create this illusion so that she can replicate what she saw in her dream. So she sees this boy reaching back towards her with his arm to kind of bringing her forward. The rocks are sharp, and it's oceanside, like a rough beach, shells and stone. And then there's the lighthouse in the distance, and it's like just a full lighthouse. Is that last light? Is that the same lighthouse?
If you show it to Reed, he says
that's what I'm looking at. So he would probably see it.
Yeah, he says
I'm casting minor illusion here.
That's it. That's what. Yeah.
There's something in there, and I think we have to kill it.
I think that's where we'll end the session for tonight. Hey, we got to have a combat. Yay! We got to roll some dice. That was fun. Thanks everyone for watching. We're going to be playing again next month. And like I said, we're probably going to do 5 sessions now instead of 4, just because I'm bad at prepping games. So we'll just get to play more D&D together. That'll be fun. So thanks for watching, everyone. I'm going to toss it to my players here to do outros, and then we'll call it a night. Let's go in reverse order. Aaron.
All right, that's at Aaron Vansock on Venmo. You can send me, it's AARONVANSCYOC on Venmo. You can
Aaron, you invented
me,
this game, so that you deserve payment.
I deserve payment. You've watched this for basically free. So you ingrates had better pay up, because I'm going that they are going to throw me from the turnbuckle, and then they're going to land on top of me. So I need all the help. I need to hire somebody bigger. Or
40 feet into a judge's table. It's going to happen.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much. Great session, Matt. Thank you so much for having me, and great job to my fellow players.
Thank you as always, Aaron, and I have to tell you that it took every ounce of willpower I had to not say that when you took the mask off, it was big game under the mask.
He's never too far away from my night.
He's always there.
Lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, big game has haunted my steps. Taylor, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the game. Don't listen to Matt. He's not bad at running a game. He just has 6 very talkative players. And I'm excited that we get 5 sessions.
Oh my god. Big game is the thing in Last Light that we need to kill, Jeff says. Oh man. Lloyd, go ahead.
Yeah, that was great. As always, I'm just really excited to keep playing more of this. I think it's like a really weird crew, and I enjoy a really weird crew. It's great.
It's like the Gloam Guardians of the Galaxy. Like,
right.
All right, T, go ahead.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks, fellow players. It was a lot of fun tonight, getting to use my fish whacker. That's all I wanted when I woke up this morning. So, thanks, all. Excited to play more.
Any day you get to use a fish whacker is a good day. Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah, I was trying real hard to be patient with my portent of like, I need to wait for some really cool narrative moment that I can like, and then just immediately combat happened and I just like spewed them all off immediately. But you got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I mean, it's a great crew of players and a wonderful GM, a great crew of characters, great setting, just everything's great. So looking forward to more greatness.
Awesome. All right, Barker.
Hi, I'm Barker, Inspire the Barks on Twitter. And I don't know, is like Michele normal now? I don't know. It's interesting. Didn't expect that, but that's fun. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the game.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I've been Matt. I'm the Game Master, and we'll see you here next month for the next chapter of There Bleeds the Weekend. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care. Happy gaming, all.